not matter which scene you pull up, Grease has been pleasing its audience since 1978, whether by singing along or falling in love with the cast. You're about to relive it all because you can catch them in San Antonio this weekend. Yes, you. I am so honored to welcome some of the original cast of Grease. You may remember her as Jan, the funny pink lady who had a pretty good Bucky Beaver impression. We welcome Jamie Donnelly. Thank you so much for being here.
Good morning, San Antonio.
Yay! Next, he was the curly-haired T-Bird known as Duty. He was also Frenchie's boyfriend. I want to welcome Barry Pearl. Barry.
¿Qué pasa, San Antonio y Roma?
Yay! Next, he was the youngest innocent blonde T-Bird. Innocent, huh? Well, Putsy, please welcome Kelly Ward.
Hi, San Antonio, and thank you, Roma.
Absolutely. Lastly, he was the sarcastic, brash T-Bird who was known to joke around. His name was Sonny. I want to welcome Michael Tucci.
Hello. I had ribs last night and brisket.
And brisket, you had brisket.
He was
Great.
just down at the
All
wall.
up on my brisket last night.
I don't even need to tell you what you need to do in
Please.
San Antonio, but I thank you all so much for being here. Happy 45 years of Grease.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Incredible.
It's an honor. Thank you.
You know, so much has changed in 45 years, but Jamie, my only pink lady here, did you ever imagine that in 2023 this movie would still be a fan favorite?
There is no way that we could imagine what it's like today. We didn't even have DVDs or nobody. If a movie came out and it was a success, you'd see it, and maybe that was the last time. Now everybody knows every line in the movie because we can all share that and be a part of it. We never knew that kind
But
of.
around for 36 weeks is #1 as a film, right?
Yeah,
In
something
LA.
Yeah.
But nobody has that kind of crystal ball to know that kind of thing.
No,
Nobody knows.
but-
We knew we were having fun. We knew that the play had been the longest running Broadway show in history at that point. So we had a lot going for it, and you had the gorgeousness of John and Olivia that the camera just adored. You know, so that was
yes.
part, I think, of the success.
You know, speaking of them, Jamie, I want to hear from all of you, what was it like to work with Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta?
They are both as wonderful as they seem. In fact, I think everybody who was in this, we all thought we were acting, but we're really all like the characters that we played, and John and Olivia especially.
See, that's interesting to me. Like, is that really your personality, or is it something you had to adjust to, you know?
That was, we thought we were acting, but it's really who we are. And I think that was the same with John and Olivia. She is
Very genuine,
was
authentic.
as sweet
yeah.
as you can imagine.
all that.
And John too. Oh, just great people.
And some of us had worked with John in the play, and there were several cast members. Jamie was a stage greaser, as was I,
Okay.
as was John, as was the late Jeff Conaway. He played Zuko.
Oh,
He was the first Zuko I saw.
I liked
actually.
Zuko a lot,
And
yes.
but great group of people, and I think that at the core of our success is the camaraderie that you see amongst all of us, the friendship. I think patrons love seeing that kind of well-oiled machine in love with each other. That spilled over, I think.
It definitely did. So many of us had so many crushes. Kelly, the epicenter of the movie, I think was so cool too. It had so much to do with friend groups. What was it like to be a T-Bird and then having John as kind of the leader, you know, leading the pack?
Well, I was the only one of the five T-Birds that had not done the play.
Wow.
So I really didn't know the ins and outs, and I was like the little brother, and with Jeff's help and Barry's and Michael's and John's, I kind of got indoctrinated into the Grease mythos. I did get the great blessing of creating a character that wasn't in the play. Putsy was created for the film, and that was lovely.
Yeah. Were you a bad boy in real life? Are you a
He
bad
is
boy?
now, but
I like to think I
No.
was a bad boy, but I don't think.
No, he wasn't a bad
no.
boy.
How fun though, the outfits, everything, the singing, the dancing. Michael, we gotta talk to you, Putsy. I mean, not Putsy,
Sonny.
Tucci. We were calling you Tucci
Call me
earlier, 'cause that's
Tucci,
last
it's
name.
okay.
But you were kind of like the sarcastic one. How did you connect that with your personal character on a everyday basis? Was it easy, or was it fun to play that type of character?
Well, it was easy because of like Eve Arden, the whole principal kind of situation. The setup is great. That opening scene when he comes out, it was great. And Olivia, John wanted Olivia, and she wanted a test. And when the producers at Paramount saw the test, it went through the roof.
And
the
she'd
connection.
Already, she had done a film that wasn't very successful. She was really skittish about wanting to. So it was her, is what Michael was saying,
Right.
that actually insisted on the screen test to prove to herself, right? And not only the.
That's great. Sounds like
powers.
she always pushed herself and wanted the best result.
She did.
Wow, that's
And-
beautiful.
And a great sharer, like anybody, if you were on the crew or the caterers or any of us, everybody was invited to all her parties.
Ooh.
Yeah, she's a very giving person.
Oh,
Yeah.
may she rest in peace. What a beautiful soul
Truly.
she sounded like you got to work with. What an experience. Barry, I have to know, were there any behind the scenes romances? And if so, can you tell me who had a crush on who?
Why do I always
Come
get asked
on.
that question?
Barry, you
Because
seem like
I
a
was so
romantic.
good looking and suave, and a bon vivant kind of guy.
You seem
know
kind
why
of
this-
romantic. I don't know. Just
Bless
an
your heart.
impression I get.
Yes, tell my wife that, please.
Yeah,
I'd
he
appreciate
is
it.
romantic. He's been talking about you all morning,
All morning
and taking
long.
pictures of the animals for you.
That's right. That always. You know, it's funny because we do get asked that question. What's the sordid stuff that
Of
took
course,
place?
we gotta
But you know, it wasn't that. We were all. I mean, Kelly had a relationship going on with a woman that he's been married to. You got married right after the filming.
Shortly
right?
after the film.
And I was living with a girlfriend at the time. Michael, you had.
I was married.
You were. No, I
No,
don't
not
think you were
yet. I
married
wasn't
yet.
married
No, no. You had a steady girlfriend at the time. Jamie, I don't know what your story. Well,
Were you married?
You
I
weren't-
wasn't married.
You weren't married.
Did you have a crush on anyone on set?
I loved everybody.
Oh,
no, we did.
we
it
really-
sounds corny, but
yeah.
it really is true.
So, I mean, may he rest in peace, the only honey wagon, which is the portable dressing room, that rocked back and forth a little bit, was Jeff. May he rest in peace.
Okay.
Yes.
Since he's not here.
Since
we
he's
can-
not here, we can talk about
can
it.
say it
But
was
no,
Jeff.
Jeff was with the ladies. He
was a
Jeff
ladies' man.
He was
Bit
a
of
ladies'
a
man.
Casanova.
He was a
Oh.
Casanova.
Yeah.
Every there's always a Casanova in every.
But it was
friend group.
even in the Broadway play, it was the Casanova.
Yeah, he had that all going on.
No, he had a lot going on
And,
there.
and
Lucky
Jeff
guy.
and Johnny had his whole thing with Diana Hyland. I think had just recently passed away. He was totally in love with Diana Hyland, and of course Olivia. I don't think she was involved with anybody at the time. I know
Not
that
at the
they
time.
had John and they had crushes on each
I
other.
always wondered if John and her really had a romance behind the scenes too, because they connected so well. But
Yeah.
like you said, everyone connected so well
Right.
as they were doing their scenes and everything, because
Yeah.
that's what we all love seeing. I don't think there's one scene in the movie that you're like, oh, I wish it wasn't in the film, you know. But with that said, you all had to sing, you all had to dance. Did you all have that background, like theatrical?
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially Kelly.
Oh.
Well, Kelly taught so many people to dance. He was a great dancer. He was like the
Anything
coach.
Gene Kelly could dance.
Yeah,
Kelly
great
could
dancer.
do.
Kelly was the dancer of us all. His parents were also may your dad rest in peace. They ran their own theater, and he grew up. You know, he's born in a trunk, as they say.
Yeah.
And in fact, I worked with his dad. We did a production of Crazy for You together. That was the first time I worked with your dad. And your mom was supposed to do it, but I think had like a hip hop.
And then your
operation.
brother did Crazy for
And
You on
in
Broadway
Lon-
and in
on
London, and the London Company.
So he comes from that background.
Wow.
We all did.
A lot of
We all-
dancing
and we all
there.
did.
But everybody in the group had a huge schooling in theater,
Yeah.
voice, dance.
And the reason we were a little older, which comes up all the time,
Yes.
if you do
Playing
a
high school
Broadway
students.
show, you got to be able to sing, dance, and act. And you're playing an 18-year-old, but you're 30.
Yeah. That
know,
means
it's
you
a
look
lot.
pretty good for your age, huh?
Yeah.
But also, Pat Birch, who was our choreographer, who choreographed the original stage show, she was famous for taking non-dancers and making them look like they could dance.
Yeah,
she
she
did it
was-
with me in '67 and '68 when we did the production of You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown in Boston. That's when I first had met Pat. And then again, we revisit with the Grease situation. She just had that ability. I mean, for the first 3 weeks of production, we rehearsed the movie like a play, and then performed it for everybody who was on the Paramount lot at that time, just before we went through principal photography. And so, again, there was a point that I wanted to make about the fact that Pat was able to, oh, I know. So we rehearsed all the numbers, right? It was, thanks.
Getting smacked over here. Ay, ay, ay.
But you take You're the One That I Want. That wasn't part of the original plan. She brought that out onto the set that day, choreographed
Right,
it,
right,
and we
yeah.
shot it that day.
Y'all did an
So-
incredible job.
Well, they
And that's
had
again-
the cream of the Broadway play, and they had the cream of all the new people coming together.
And
It was
just
a
working
sensation.
together
Just
fabulously.
clicked.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pat Burst was a
Briefly,
big
you know,
influence.
y'all are all legends. American Dream to me, you know, an American classic movie. Is there any advice you would have for someone who's watching, who's trying to pursue that dream? Because look at y'all, you're still living it, right?
Yeah, become brokers.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
getting into the business, getting into the business.
Anything in life.
Well, you got to go after it. But if
Okay.
it's the theater, I think got to be New York to start.
Okay.
Because it's easier entrance into the theater, you know, rather than into film and television. It's much more difficult.
I
Great
never
advice.
know how people know how to be funny if they haven't been in front of an audience being funny.
Well, also
because that's
watching.
where you learn.
I think watching television helped us. The I Love Lucy's and the Honeymooners and those that resonated, those comedies that resonated with us when we were younger. We saw that dynamic. We got the time. We were all musical too. Musical helps with the
Okay.
comedy aspect, and I think we were impressed in that way. And I want to do that when I grow up, you know. And so for me, I think that's where the passion began.
But also with Grease, we were very lucky with the director because we were allowed to do what you want. Just whatever you feel,
gave
let's
us a
make
lot
it
of
work.
latitude.
A lot of latitude. So
Yeah.
the script was constantly moving
Yeah.
and going forward.
Well,
Now, where are you from? You're from?
I'm from California originally, but I'm a San Antonio now. Our audience knows I've been here 7 years, so I
Oh,
love it.
nice.
So blessed to get to meet you all.
Thank you, Roma.
Like I did something so many people dream of, but you all can catch them this weekend at the Summer Lovin Celebration over at the Wonderland of the Americas, right here on Fredericksburg Road. This is Saturday and Sunday. For more information, you guys can go to socialrevoltstore.com, and this is all for their 45-year anniversary. Thank you all so much for being here. It's electrifying, definitely.
You're electrifying.
Thank
You're
you.
beautiful.
Yeah, truly.
Yeah.
And
We'll be
remember
right
the
back.
Alamo.
Remember the Alamo.
Yeah.
We'll be right back, y'all.
She's humble, so you don't want to hear the compliment.